All right, Shalom. I want to give all the praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai Bahasham, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who taught me this truth, and double salutations to our Yuakim out there laboring, the house of David, the elect, that's pushing this word with all truth, righteousness, and sincerity. Shalom to you, brothers, and shalom to the elect. I'm back with another quick lesson through the Holy Spirit, the Rakakwadash, and I was watching the breakdown of 2nd Ezra, the 6th chapter, by the beloved brother Bakwar Amath, and I pretty much wanted to land back off a particular scripture that he brought out in that chapter, which inspired me to go into the spiritual chastity of the Lord's elect. Because this body of believers, which represents the remnant, the elect, they would remain spiritually pure from all idol worship and also the wicked philosophies of this world. Okay, they will stay pure in the doctrine of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. All right, and that's what I wanted to touch on in this lesson, and I pray that this lesson is edifying. All right, so we're going to come back to this definition here too. So jumping right into this lesson, this is 2nd Ezra, the 6th chapter, starting at verse 27. And it reads, it says, "For evil shall be put out, and deceit shall be quenched." And that's happening now in these last days, all right? All lies, all deceit that's not of the truth is being quenched ultimately by the Holy Spirit in Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, you know? This is Psalms 85 and verse 11. It says, "Truth shall spring out of the earth." Okay, and this is happening via the dry bones pursuant to Ezekiel 37, you know, those dry bones receiving the breath of life, you know, and ultimately the true prophets of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai standing back upon their feet in righteousness and this truth being declared. Okay, so it says truth shall spring out of the earth and righteousness shall look down from heaven. Let me add another one. All right, and that's what's going on now. Isaiah 55 and 10. And it reads, it says, "For as the rain cometh down and the snow from heaven, and returneth not thither, but watereth the earth." All right. And the Lord said that also in Deuteronomy chapter 32. He said that his word would drop, his doctrine would drop as the rain and watereth the earth, you know? So this word is definitely been spread to the four corners of the earth, you know? But it says, "But watereth the earth and maketh it bring forth and bud." All right. This word bud goes back to the Hebrew tazamak, which means what? To spring forth. As we read in Psalms 85, that truth would spring out of the earth. So it says, "But water the earth and maketh it bring forth and bud, that it may give seed to the sower and bread to the eater." You see that? Verse 11 says, "So shall my word be that goeth forth out of my mouth." Right. And how's that happening? How's the word of the Lord going forth from his mouth? By the prophets. All right. He said that in Proverbs, the 1st chapter. Right. Let me get that real quick too, and I'll come back to that. Proverbs chapter 1 and verse 23. And it reads, it says, "Turn you at my reproof, which is the Lord's correction. Behold, I will pour out my spirit unto you." And how did he do that? By the prophets. Okay, the prophets of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai represent the mouthpiece of the Lord, you know? It says, "I will pour out my spirit unto you, and I will make known my words unto you." You see? And he's done that by his men, by the prophets. Right? Going back. All right, back in Isaiah 55 and 11, it says, "So shall my word be that goeth forth out of my mouth. It shall not return unto me void, but it shall accomplish that which I please, and it shall prosper in the thing whereto I sent it." So the word of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai has accomplished its duty, if you will, by being reached to the four corners of the earth, you know, by his elect, you know, waking back up, if you will, you know. But anyway, back in 2nd Ezra 6 and 27, again, it says, "For evil shall be put out and deceit shall be quenched. As for faith, it shall flourish. Corruption shall be overcome, and the truth, which have been so long without fruit, shall be declared." And that's what's going on in these last days. All right, starting with Elijah coming back in the last days, pursuing to Malachi, the 4th chapter. You know, it said that Elijah would come back before the the great and terrible day of Yahweh Shem Shai. All right. Going back to Elder High Priest Abba Bivens coming on the scene, in the 1960s. Okay. Turning the hearts of the children back to the fathers. All right. The understanding of the scriptures, the prophecies, the raising up of the 12 tribes, man. Who they are, the locations, the characteristics, so on and so forth. All right. This is happening now. Verse 29, it says, and when he talked with me, behold, I looked by little and little upon him before whom I stood. And these words he said unto me, I come to show thee the time of the night to come. If thou wilt pray yet more and fast 7 days again, I will tell thee greater things by day than I have heard. Right. So, when you read the chapter, pretty much the prophet Ezra, okay, he was receiving very heavy visions concerning Israel of the future. The Lord allowed him to see, through the angel, heavy revelations, concerning the prophecies in the future of Israel. You see, verse 32, my point. This is 2 Ezra 6:32. It says, for thy voice is heard before the Most High, for the mighty have seen thy righteous dealing. He have seen also thy chastity, which thou hast had ever since thy youth, right? Because when you go into, pretty much the history of the prophet Ezra, who was also Esdras in the Apocrypha, right? He was from the line of Aaron. All right, he was from the priesthood. He was raised in the laws. All right, so ever since from his youth, he diligently sought out the Most High. You see that, and it tells you that it goes into the his lineage in the book of Ezra, chapter 7, verses 1 through 3. It breaks down his bloodline all the way down to the line of the sons of Aaron. But the point, it says, he have seen also thy chastity, right? Which thou hast had ever since thy youth, right? So looking up this word chastity, just pulling it back up here. This is the etymology of the word chastity. All right. It says 1200 chaste. It says, quote unquote, sexual purity as defined by the church. All right. So this is spiritual. All right. Which I wanted to get into. It says sexual purity as defined by the church, including but not limited to virginity or celibacy, from Old French chaste, chastity, purity. It says modern French chaste, from Latin chastidem, purity, chastity. All right. So let's pull this up. Maybe think about Revelation 14, because ultimately what? The elect, okay, they stayed pure, okay, to the doctrine of Yahweh Shem Shai. Let's get that real quick. All right. Because that's what I was thinking about. This is Revelation 14, verse 3. And it reads, it says, and they sung, as it were, a new song before the throne and before the four beasts and the elders, and no man could learn that song but the 144,000 which were redeemed from the earth, right? So that the elect, the 144,000, are singing that new song, which is what? This truth, this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. It says, verse 14, the point, it says, these are they, it's Revelation 14:4, it says, these are they which were not defiled with women. You see that? So this is not talking about, men that didn't have sex with women. All right. These women represent these worldly philosophies, these false doctrines. It says, for these are they which were not defiled with women, for they are virgins. You see that? So these particular men here, the elect, the remnant, they stayed pure. They were likened unto virgins, right? Let's pull this up. This word virgins.
Strong's G 3933. Parthenos. Parthenos.
Right, for the Greek word virgins, right? These were virgins. It says a virgin, a marriageable maiden, a woman who has not had sexual intercourse with a man, one's marriageable daughter. The point, definition 2, it says a man, right? A man who has abstain from all uncleanness and whoredom attended on idolatry. You see that? It says a man who has abstained from all uncleanness and whoredom attended on idolatry and has kept his chastity. You see that? So these virgins, if you will, the elect, these wise virgins, okay, they're going to be presented as chaste virgins unto Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, unto the throne of the Lord. You know, these body of believers, you know, they stay pure to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. They weren't defiled with women, all right, with idol worship, okay, with the false doctrines of this world. They stayed pure to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. They were spiritually, they're likened unto spiritual chaste virgins, you know. You see, let's go back and finish that off, right? So it says, reading this again, it says, Revelation 14:4, these are they which were not defiled with women. Now we understand that. For they are virgins. These are they which follow the Lamb whithersoever he goeth. These were redeemed from among men, being the first fruits unto the power and unto the Lamb. Verse 5, it says, and in their mouth was found no guile, no deceit, no lies. All right. So basically, you know, the 144,000 would be teaching the truth with all righteousness and sincerity. They wouldn't be found with any guile. It says, for they are without fault before the throne of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. So like I said, the elect basically will be presented as chaste virgins unto the throne of the Most High. Okay, they will be found without fault. You know, they wouldn't become defiled, all right, with the idols of this world. All right, they stayed pure, if you will, spiritually chaste. That's the chastity. You know, they kept their sexual purity in the spirit. You know, their spiritual virginity, celibacy, right? They know they steered clear for those from those idols. You know, let me add some more into that. You know, these are the things that I was just thinking about dealing with that chastity, right? Going back to these idols here. So this is Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 14 and verse 11. And it reads, it says, therefore, even upon the idols of the Gentiles shall there be a visitation, because in the creature of God, which represents the Israelites, all right? Because in the creature of God, they are become an abomination and stumbling blocks to the souls of men and a snare to the feet of the unwise, all right? And when you go back even to the time of the sons of God, you know, idol worship, idolatry was always the fall of our people unto this very day, all right? Those idols of the heathen, you know, in which while the Lord was angry against us, right? This is why we fell as a nation. The Lord, you know, pretty much casted us out of his sight, you know, because we were following the ways of the heathen, man, you know. But it says, reading on, it says verse 12, Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 14, verse 12, it says, for the devising of idols was the beginning of spiritual fornication, all right, spiritual adultery, and the invention of them, the corruption of life. You see that? And this is how we always fell, all right, to idolatry. It says, for neither were they from the beginning, neither shall they be forever. Verse 14, for by vainglory of men they entered into the world, and therefore shall they come shortly to an end. So that's the point, man. You know, idolatry was always a major issue, if you will, for our people, right? Let me add some more on that. The folly of idolatry. This is Isaiah 44 and verse 9, and it reads, it says, they that make a graven image are all of them vanity, and their delectable things shall not profit. And they are their own witnesses. They see not nor know, that they may be ashamed. Who have formed a god of molten and a graven image that is profitable for nothing, right? Because these idols are nothing. They can't see, they can't breathe, they can't talk, they can't do anything. It's all vain, it's all vanity, it's all folly, right? Matter of fact, let me read this whole thing in the NLT. Bear with me. All right. Isaiah 44 and 9 NLT. Just want to read 9 through a few verses here. All right. So this is Isaiah 44 and 9 in the NLT. It says, "How foolish are those who manufacture idols. These prized objects are really worthless. The people who worship idols don't know this, so they are all put to shame." Verse 10, "But who but a fool would make his own God, and an idol that cannot help him one bit? All who worship idols will be disgraced, along with all these craftsmen, mere humans who claim they can make a god. They may all stand together, but they will stand in terror and shame. The blacksmith stands at his forge to make a sharp tool, pounding and shaping it with all his might. His work makes him hungry and weak. It makes him thirsty and faint. Then the wood carver measures a block of wood and draws a pattern on it. He works with chisel and plane. He carves it into a human figure. He gives it a human beauty and puts it in a little shrine." It says he cuts down cedars. He selects the cypress and the oak. He plants the pine in the forest to be nourished by the rain. Then he uses part of the wood to make the fire. With it, he warms himself and bakes his bread. Then, yes, it's true, he takes the rest of it and makes himself a god to worship. He makes an idol and bows down in front of it. So pretty much, it's all vanity, as we're reading here. It's all in vain. It says he burns part of the tree to roast his meat and to make himself warm. He says, that fire feels good. Then he takes what's left and makes his God a carved idol. He falls down in front of it, worshiping and praying to it. "Rescue me," he says, "you are my God." Such stupidity and ignorance. Their eyes are closed, they cannot see. Their minds are shut, they cannot think. The person who made the idol never stops to reflect. Why? Because it says, "Why? It's just a block of wood. I burned half of it for heat and used it to bake my bread and roast my meat. How can the rest of it be a god? Should I bow down and worship a piece of wood?" The poor, deluded fool feeds on ashes. He trusts something that cannot help him at all. Yet he cannot bring himself to ask, is this idol that I'm holding in my hand a lie? Right. So the point, is that, idol worship is all vanity, is foolishness, man. All right. And pretty much, these people, they worship idols and false gods that can do nothing for them. All right. But my point here is that, ultimately the elect, they kept their spiritual chastity, these wise virgins stayed pure to the doctrine in Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. They stayed pure, from idol worship, man. So I thought that was pretty heavy. I was looking up some more stuff dealing with idolatry here, because these really, a lot of these, these false gods, these idols today are basically just repackaged from the idols of old, And I found this this article here dealing with the fertility cults of Canaan. All right, because Israel was caught into these gods of these false gods of Baal and Asheroth and Molech, different gods like that, and a lot of these idols go back to abominable acts. Israel was caught up in very inhumane acts. They defiled themselves in the names of these idols, and this is why the Lord punished us. All of these different practices. We're not going to read this, but it gets into all of that. How through these things is how we became separated from Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. But the point is that I'm harping is that the elect, Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, those virgins were going to stay pure. All right, they were going to be presented as chaste virgins unto Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. They were going to be presented blameless before His throne. Right. Here's another one real quick. Right. This is the book of Colossians 2:8. It says, "Beware lest any man spoil you through philosophy and vain deceit, after the tradition of men, after the rudiments of the world and not after Yahweh Shah HaMashiach. You see that? So you have to be you have to use wisdom, man. All right, because now due to the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding that's going forth, all right, you have the elect that are waking up, and now they're coming back to Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai in spirit and truth, right? Isaiah 10:20 says, and it shall come to pass that in that day, it shall come to pass in that day, speaking about these days now, that the remnant of Israel and such as are escaped of the house of Jacob shall no more stay upon him that smote them, but shall stay upon the Lord, Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, the Holy One of Israel, in truth. That's what's happening now. And our people are now coming out of these churches. They're casting away these meaningless idols. All right. They're dropping these wicked philosophies of the world, and they're serving their power, Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, now in spirit and truth. You see, all the gods of the nations are no gods, right? It says, verse 21, it says, and the remnant shall return, right? Even the remnant of Jacob unto the mighty power, right? So that's prophecy, all right? The remnant are returning back to Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai in spirit and truth. See? One more, all right? Like I said, it's just some things I was thinking about dealing with that spiritual chastity. The 2 Corinthians 11:1, it says, what to the Most High you could bear with me a little in my folly, and indeed bear with me. Verse 2, it says, for I am jealous over you with godly jealousy, for I have espoused you to one husband. All right. And that husband is Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. For I have espoused you to one husband, that I may say, Salaki, that I may present you as a chaste virgin to Yahweh Shai. You see that? So once again, the elect are or will be presented as chaste virgins unto Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. Okay, these are the believers that stayed pure, that stayed spiritually pure. All right, from idolatry, from idol worship, it says, but I fear lest by any means, as the serpent beguiled Eve through his subtlety, so your minds should be corrupted from the simplicity that is in Yahweh Shah HaMashiach. Exactly, man. So just like how Eve was pretty much, beguiled by the serpent in the garden, she took on that wicked, dark philosophy. And that's how, our foreparents fell. She believed that. She took that in. And it says, so shall your minds be corrupted from the simplicity that is in Yahweh Shah HaMashiach, man. So the point is that, once again, that the elect, that remnant will remain pure. They would keep their, their spiritual chastity, so. That's pretty much what I was thinking about, man. I pray that this quick lesson was edifying. Like I said earlier, a lot of these gods that are worshipped today are they really go back to those Canaanite gods from the ancient time, which have been repackaged today. So I pray this quick lesson was edifying. I want to give all the praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai, B'Hashem Rakakwadash, and Shalom.